So, we are back. We are back. We actually have a microphone. I purchased one. This is the first time we used it. Maybe it's fucking shit. Maybe it's absolute wank quality. But we're gonna fucking try it anyway and see. Matchmaker Monday is back. Okay, we're gonna be getting this series back. New thumbnail. I'm kind of liking the way I was doing it before. I haven't done it in months, and I want to bring this series back because I would like a series that I can kind of just label as my own. That kind of makes sense. Like right, people say Tuesday, Matchmaker Tuesday. It doesn't have that same ring as Matchmaker Monday, and I'm the one who made that Matchmaker Monday series. Okay, so we'll just take it from there. So, first fight I want to talk about. It's not even in the works. It's not even in the talks. It's just a fight that I really want to see, and I think actually could happen. Now, there's a few different ways this whole thing could play out. Okay, there's a few different ways. So I'm going to talk about the one that's being kind of talked about right now. I was about to say the third one there. Arman Tsarukyan, Paddy Pimblett. Okay, this is the one that Arman Tsarukyan said that he would actually accept, which is actually a bit surprising to me. I'm quite surprised Arman Tsarukyan said that he would even consider taking a Paddy Pimblett fight. He got snubbed for the title shot. Listen, I've made quite a few videos on that. I think Arman Tsarukyan is the one who should be fighting Ilyas Poirier. Charles Oliveira beat Michael Chandler. I got a title shot over that. He didn't even finish him. Okay, he nearly got finished in the 5th round. Okay, he was way more dominant the first 4 rounds, but still, what Paddy Pimblett did was way more impressive than what Charles Oliveira did. Charles Oliveira lost to Arman Tsarukyan a year ago. No one actually beat Arman Tsarukyan to really take away his kind of number one contendership, apart from himself pulling out the day before. But John Jones could pull out with an injury and hold the division up a year and hold up Tom Aspinall again, and he wouldn't fight Francis Ngannou and fail drug tests. But that's fine. Okay, Arman Tsarukyan, he's got to fight a few more times before he gets his well-deserved title shot, beating Charles Oliveira. Now Charles is fighting for the belt. So fine. I get it. It makes zero sense, but it makes perfect sense. You know what I mean, as Dana would say. That's the fight that makes sense. I'm not 1,000,000% sure I think Arman Tsarukyan versus Pimblett makes sense. That's the thing. There's kind of, there's so many ways you can mix and match lightweight, okay? Obviously, Arman Tsarukyan, Paddy's one. Arman Tsarukyan, Dan Hooker is the fight I personally would want to see, and Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett is the one that would be insane. Now, the reason I'm picking Tsarukyan versus Pimblett to talk about in this video is that Arman has said that he would take the fight literally a few days ago. He doesn't seem as interested in the Dan Hooker fight. The Justin Gaethje fight, no one's really talked about from Arman's perspective. I've seen a few people say about it online, like The Weasel, who's obviously a massive YouTuber. He's said that he thinks that's going to be next. I don't see them booking that fight. I don't know if I see them booking Pimblett either against Gaethje. I really don't know what way they're going to do this. I can honestly see them doing the Dan Hooker rematch now. For a while, I've kind of really nailed down on, I think, Arman Tsarukyan, Dan Hooker's fight to make. And I still believe that. And I still think that would be an incredible fight. But I don't know. I can just see the UFC slotting back in Hooker versus Gaethje too. I can just see it, even though it's not really what I really want to see now. I think the things in the division are a little bit different from when they first fought. Okay, obviously Pimblett beat Chandler. That's a massive one. Makhachev's no longer in the division. Ilya moves up. He's fighting Charles now. So you've kind of taken Charles Oliveira out of the mix and match because he's fighting Ilya. Islam is up there. He's going to be fighting JDM in probably September or August. We don't really know. So they were 3 pillars. Ilya, Islam, and Makhachev are all kind of booked. Makhachev's gone and stuff like that, but we can't book them now. So you're stuck with the Gaethje, Hooker, Tsarukyan, Pimblett kind of triangle. Or not even triangle, fucking triangle is 3. I don't even know why the fuck I said that. Kind of square, let's fucking say. That kind of thing of just that's how you matchmake the next. Them 4 are going to fight each other. It's literally just kind of in what order. Because Holloway is fighting Poirier as well, and they're all really the lightweight contenders at the moment. Do you know what I mean? They're all the ones we really need to be discussing. And I don't know, man. I really don't know what way the UFC are going to go. If they book Hooker versus Gaethje, I just cannot see them booking Tsarukyan Pimblett. And I would fucking love it. I would love Pimlet versus Arman Tsarukyan. Pimlet fucking hates Arman Tsarukyan, okay? Listen, I've said on this channel before I thought Arman Tsarukyan was a bit of a fucking geebag, okay? But then when you want to hit that fan in the crowd, that's when I started to like that guy. I am an Arman Tsarukyan fan. Listen, I'm a fan of all of these guys. I'm a fan of Gaethje, Hooker, Poirier. Like, all of these guys are some of my favorite fighters ever, okay? And it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. I wouldn't have booked Holloway versus Poirier 3. The Gaethje trilogy made way more sense, to be quite honest with you, because they're both 1-for-1 for knockouts. Poirier's 2 up against Holloway. Like, why are you booking that fight? I get it's a legacy fight, but Poirier would have fucking fought for the... Not for the BMF belt. He would have fought Gaethje. Okay, he would have fought Gaethje if he had got the contract in front of him. That made way more sense. Way more sense than booking Holloway versus Poirier 3, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people might disagree with that. Fair enough. But the way that the matchmakers have been lately, with the Yair versus Volk thing, which they just want Mexican champion, or they're so thirsty for Mexican fighters to fight in Mexico that they're just granting Yair Rodriguez an undeserved title shot. You really don't know what way this matchmaking is going to work. You don't know how they're going to book these lightweights. If I was to put money on it, I honestly have no idea. Like, probably Tsarukyan, Hooker. But then again, I don't know if they'll book Gaethje, Pimlet. Like, I really don't know what way they're gonna make this happen. Okay, the least likely outcome, I think, is Pimlet versus Hooker and Gaethje versus Arman Tsarukyan. I really don't think they're gonna do that. I really don't think so. I would be quite confident. Now, if they were the matchups being made, that would be fucking sick. That would be fucking sick. Okay, I would absolutely love that. And still don't think it'll happen. I just don't think that's what's going to be next. But yeah, the lightweight's in a really weird spot, and I'm here for it. I'm fucking here for it. But I want to talk about Arman Tsarukyan a lot, because who the fuck knows what he's in the beef with the UFC at the moment. So you don't really know if he's going to just fade off. You don't really know what this fella's going to do. And what a shame. What a fucking that would be criminal. That would be such a loss to the UFC if Arman Tsarukyan got really pissed off and just, you know, not even went to the PFL, because I don't even go there. This dude doesn't even have to fight. That's the thing. Like, he's absolutely minted. Okay, he doesn't need to fight ever again in his life. So he could literally just get mad sick of their bullshit. Be like, right, fuck you guys. I'm just gonna go drive all my Lamborghinis, because he has all that. Like, his family are mad rich and shit. So like, you would question why he fights, but you gotta respect it at the same time, because the dude is a phenomenal fighter, great athlete. And I'm here for it. Like, I'm here for Arman Tsarukyan to fucking get back in the mix. But yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like a weird one with Arman Tsarukyan. I don't really know what's going to happen to him, but we'll see. That's kind of how my opinions on the lightweight situation at the moment. Book Arman Tsarukyan versus literally anyone. Book Paddy Pimblett versus anyone. Just get these guys fucking booked against each other. Like I said, those four are going to be fighting each other. Who knows what way it's going to end up. If you put a gun to my head, I'm going to say they're going to do Tsarukyan, Hooker and Pimblett, Gaethje. But that's literally just like, I don't know what they're going to do, okay? The UFC is just so unpredictable at the moment. But the next matchup I want to talk about, Gene Silva versus Arnold Allen. I've said it. I would fucking love this matchup. Okay, we'll start with my boy AA Battery. The AA Battery, the Duracell Battery. Arnold Allen has been out for about nearly a year now. It's been about 10 months since he got that win over Giga Chikadze. Let's be honest here, we all thought he beat Movsar Evloev. Let's get that out of the way. We all thought he beat him. Slipped up a little bit against Max Holloway. Okay, so you can argue Arnold only lost to Max Holloway. You can make that argument, and he's not even in the division anymore. So you could say Arnold Allen is undefeated at featherweight still against current featherweights. That's all I'm going to say there, but we'll move on. It's going to be very interesting to see how Arnold matches up against some people. I believe Arnold Allen can get that belt. I think he's so well-rounded. I think his movement's some of the most underrated in the UFC. He doesn't have power, though. That's the thing. He does not have power. Now, you have to remember, this dude outstruck Giga Chikadze to win a decision. Okay, he didn't shoot one takedown. Like, he beat Giga Chikadze in a stand-up fight. So his striking is elite as well. And he's got insane wrestling defense. You look at the Movsar fight, Arnold was doing bits to the body with the, like, even the body hooks was doing class with them. He was getting up off every single one of Movzar's takedowns. Okay? But the thing about fucking featherweight is I feel like all these elite featherweights have just insane ability to get back to their feet. Why do one of you thinks that? Holloway, fucking even Aljamain Sterling has great ability to get back to his feet. I know he lost to Movzar. What a competitive scrap that was. I'm going to talk about Aljo now in a minute. He could be next for Arnold even. But all these guys, Ilya. But honestly, I think Arnold is up there. I think he's up there. I just don't think he's really got to show it. I know he fought Max Holloway. That was a close fight. Very close fight. 3-2, maybe 4-1, whatever you're feeling. But that was a very close fight. And, sorry, let me just stop. It's going to be interesting to see his next fight. I personally would pick him to beat Gene Silva. Okay, listen, Gene Silva's on a tear. He beat Bryce Mitchell in extremely good fashion. But Arnold Allen would fucking smoke Bryce Mitchell. Fucking smoke him. And Gene Silva, like, fucking hell. Like, he's a bit cringe. He's a bit cringe. I do like Gene Silva, though, so I won't say anything bad. But he is a bit cringe. I like his fight style, I must say. I do think Gene Silva comes to fight. He's very active on the feet. I just like Gene Silva as well. Of course, the Double A Battery is one of my favourite fighters in the sport, so I'm going to be backing him all the time. But that doesn't mean I can't dislike Gene Silva. You know what I'm saying? I still like Gene Silva. I think Arnold's fight style is probably not as entertaining, even though I do think it is entertaining. Stylistically, I think Arnold matches up quite well against Gene Silva. I don't know if they're going to book this fight. I wouldn't actually say so, but I kind of like to say on Matchmaker Monday as well, like, these are fights I would love to fucking see. Okay, I would love to see Armasukian versus Paddy Pimblett, even though I think it mightn't happen. I actually called Dan Hooker versus Justin Gaethje as well. I had this on a video. I said, I don't know if they'll actually book this, but obviously I would fucking love to see it. And it's the exact same with this one. I would fucking love to see this fight. Put this in the UK, put this in, you know, wherever. Like, you can put this anywhere. Maybe if main card opener of a big pay-per-view at the end of the year, or end of summer even. Arnold's out a long time. Gene Silva wants to get back in there. Why not book this fight? And I think Arnold will be a little bit too elusive for him on the feet. This isn't Bryce Mitchell. Simple as. Bryce Mitchell's got exposed bad the last 2.5 years. Really since the Ilya fight, when Ilya just absolutely fucked him. Like, he destroyed him. Bad. Really bad. And then Gene Silva finished him. I'm sorry, it just makes me happy seeing Bryce Mitchell lose. I don't fucking like that guy. I don't think anyone does, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't even say it makes me happy seeing him lose, but just like, it just makes me laugh. And Arnold Allen is not Bryce Mitchell. His ability to get back to his feet is way better. I know Bryce Mitchell has like decent kicks, but Arnold's movement, man. Gene Silva's gonna have a hard time finding the target with that one. I think if you're gonna beat Arnold, I think a good way to go about it is use a lot of the clinch up against the cage. I think that could be somewhere to use. Sadiq Youssef found success in that area, but Arnold definitely had success in that area as well. It wasn't one-sided. He even kind of got like a knockdown off it as well, I think. So that would be a great fucking fight. You know what I mean? Featherweight's in a good spot as well. We have obviously King Volk, the top 5 human being ever. You know, you have like Muhammad Ali, you have Mother Teresa, you have Alexander Volkanovski, you have Charles Oliveira, you have these men as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm only messing, but like it's funny to even say that. And featherweight's in a really good spot to be able to produce insane matchups. Aljamain Sterling is kind of coming off of, he's coming off a loss to Movzar, okay? One of the most competitive scrambles you will ever see in a UFC fight. Absolutely banging. Aljo was in that fight. One or two things I felt he could have done maybe differently or even more. I felt like he would have beaten Movzar. I really feel like if they were to rematch, I'd probably lean toward Movzar, but I definitely could see Aljamain Sterling winning. I thought, fuck man, I remember watching that fight, and afterwards I was like, I think not Movzar's just about nicked that, but Aljo, I won't even say Aljo threw it away, but Aljo definitely could have won that fight. Probably should have won that fight in areas that could have led to the fight winning and going Aljamain Sterling's way, but he just didn't get it in the end. Aljo versus Ortega's up there. Ortega versus Arnold or Gene Silva's up there. I don't want to see Arnold out for fucking ages and then fight some shitter like, I don't even fucking know. Lerone Murphy is a bit of a dark horse in the division. You could do that as like a UK versus UK. I mean, it's not absolutely outrageous to say that. They booked Nathaniel Wood versus Lerone Murphy, so they have no problem, you know, doing that. And I don't think they should either. It's not Team England or Team fucking Brazil or Team America. Like, they're all in there on their own. Do you know what I mean? So fucking match them. I don't give a fuck where you're from. And there's so many matchups to be made. Again, this is similar to the lightweight situation of It's kind of how you want to mix and match them. They're all kind of in the same position. You know, Gene Silva is probably in a better position, but Aaron Lallon's been knocking on that door for fucking years, okay? Knocking on it for years. Max Holloway probably would finish Gene Silva. He would finish Gene Silva. I probably would pick Holloway to do that. Obviously, Volk's want to be active. Volk versus Jair. I'm not even going to get into it. I made a whole video on it. But Aaron Pico versus Movsar Evloev is being rumoured. Great fucking fight, that. Aaron Pico will probably lose. I think Aaron Pico will actually lose that fight. I don't really see Movsar slipping up bad in that fight. I think Movsar is quite good. Clearly the number one contender as well. I don't understand how he's not fighting for the belt, but like we don't even know ourselves as UFC fans. You have Diego Lopez, you know, he's still in the mix. So we'll see what happens with him. We'll see what happens with featherweight in general. Do you know what I mean? It's a fucking banging division to be in, and I'm hyped for it. So, yeah. Book that fight, and holy fuck, I look like I am in a fucking tanning bed with this lighting at the moment. My apologies. But the last fight is a bit interesting because both of these guys are actually booked, but I think both of them are going to win. We have Merab versus Pantoja. Okay, this fight has been talked about for ages. I've talked about this fight for fucking months now, okay? And I feel like both of them are one win away. Or I probably should say Pantoja is one win away from moving up. I feel like if he beats Kai Kara-France, which he probably will if we're all being honest with ourselves here, when he beats Kai Kara-France and maybe probably finishes him, then I can 100% see them doing the super fight. And who doesn't want to see it? Do you know what I mean? Merab is running out of contenders. Pantoja's swept the division 2 or 3 times. Like, it makes the most sense to me. It makes perfect sense. How does that fight go? I think Merab wins. I don't think that's a bad shout. I honestly think Merab has better hands than Pantoja, which is quite crazy to think because Merab's hands are just, yeah. Pantoja has such a kind of a low guard sometimes that I feel like he might be able to get caught with a few things. Merab's pressure is insane. Pantoja definitely has good ground game though, and I think even though Pantoja might be a similar size, that might work in his favour. You know, Merab's kind of usually used to fighting not even like massively bigger opponents, but he's usually fighting the bantamweights. Maybe Pantoja might be able to slip around him a little bit more on the ground. I know kind of people like Cejudo and things like that, Yan, Umar, they're not necessarily big. Umar is a little bit big, but Yan and Cejudo aren't necessarily massive. Pantoja's quite small. You know, he's a 25er, let's be real here. So that might work in his favour a little bit, but it also could work in Merab's favour of just he's going to be able to hold him down the whole fight, and Pantoja's not really going to be able to do anything. But this fight, I don't want to talk too much about it simply because the fight's not even booked. They both got each other booked. There's no real sign of it happening before either of these guys, well, obviously before these guys finish. So Match Maker Monday is back. Let me know what you think about it down below. I'm fucking buzzing to have this back. There's not much happening in the UFC at the moment, so I thought I'd just make on a fucking I thought I'd hop on here and just make a fucking stupid series to come back. You know what I mean? I love making fucking stupid videos and shit like that, but I'm even gonna do it. Some dude loves my Cyril Gane impression, so maybe even like an impression in a week I'll do Yair like, hey man, I want a family bet, man. That's enough. Oh, fuck off. See you later.